We're having you check your dancer's birth date on there to make sure that it's accurate, because I use what is in our studio software to register your kid for competitions. So just to make sure that I have absolutely the correct birth date on it. Last year, the only persons that I don't copy and paste in there is Lindley's, and evidently last year I was just going along and put in Lindley's birth date and Foster's year, you know? So Lindley was going to be, if Tanisha caught it, where's Tanisha? No, she's not here. If Tanisha caught it, she was like, is Lindley supposed to be competing as an 11-year-old? And I was like, no, she's not. Thank you for catching that. So, but I do just directly cut and paste it from the software. So I just want to make sure before we get started that that is correct, and that you didn't have a moment like I did where you put something inaccurate in there. So we'll go through things, kind of talk about what is new and not new, and then get to hearing from Kim, because she's very excited. We've been texting back and forth about kind of KM agency and what you guys and your dancer can expect from that this year. So we're going to do a Kahoot, but evidently I cannot make a Kahoot, and evidently it's more time intensive than we were thinking, but we thought it would be like a more fun way to go through like a question and answer, like what is the correct answer to these questions. So if you go past like the contract stuff and go to the question and answer stuff, that's the stuff we're gonna go through. Like if you are under the age of 11, how many ballet classes do you need to take? One. How many jazz classes? One. Yep. If you're between the ages of 12 and 14, how many ballet classes do you need to take? Two. How many jazz classes? One. Yep. Now, can you take more? You can, and we have people do it all the time, but that's your minimum. So if you're not taking that amount of classes, then you're probably going to get an email from Courtney that's like, hey, can I help you select the second ballet class to fulfill your requirements? If you are 15 and up, how many ballet classes do you need to take? Two. And how many jazz classes? Two. And then all of this stuff stays the same. If you are cast in a tap dance, then you're required to take a tap class, be enrolled, and come to a tap class, because that's an important component of it. For en avant, if you are between the ages of 9 and 13, how many ballet classes do you need to take? Two. And if you are 14 and up, how many ballet classes? Three. And then how many contemporary classes for 15 and up? One. Yes. So do you guys know that sometimes people get confused about the day of, so if your dancer today is 11 and they are not turning 12 until November, for signing up for classes purposes, they are still 11 to us. Does that make sense? When their competition age, though, is as of January 1st. So that person all year, even if we were to go to Nuvo in the fall or something, they would still compete as a 12-year-old. So what they are in our system and then what we are putting them into the competitions can sometimes be different, and that's one of the reasons why it's really important that their birth date is correct and has the correct year. So and for the studio, that date is determined by, is it today, January 1st of 2024, August 1st of 2023, or September 1st of 2023. For the studio, for how many classes they have to take, it would be the September 1st one. So like when you're signing them up for fall classes, and you are like, my kid is 13, they don't turn 14 until November, they can sign up for 2 ballet classes, but they're not required to. Does that make sense? I think that's where it gets confusing. So if you have questions, if your kid is on that cusp, I mean, if they're gonna turn over the year anyway, I mean, you might as well do the 2 ballet classes. But if you have questions about it, just let us know. Expectations regarding company rehearsals. include attend all the rehearsals and communicate any absences to the office. Do not plan to miss any rehearsals January through March, as that's the prime cleaning time for competitions, and we only have about 5 full rehearsals to clean the dances. In the event of an excused absence, get with another dancer to go over choreography and or cleaning corrections that were done while I was absent. Check band regularly to make aware of when my dancers are rehearsing. And did you guys know that you can subscribe to the band calendar and it puts it all onto your phone, which is one of the things I do like about it. Or E, all of the above. E, yes. So January through March is that really prime time. It feels like a really long amount of time, but by the time you put in rally day and competitions and company showcase and the movement when Kim McSwain comes in with her people and all that stuff, we only have about 5 like true cleaning rehearsals. And so if we can coordinate for like ACTs and things that are necessary, if we can coordinate for those not to be during that time, or if we can coordinate it so that the dancers do them all at the same time, that is ideal, so that we have that time to get dances as clean as possible. Because the hard thing is, once everybody knows the choreography, cleaning becomes about this person needs to get lower, this person needs to hit this accent harder, this person's traveling too much, this person's traveling not enough. And when everybody's not there, it is difficult because you think you have it in a good spot and then that person comes back and you go back. It's a little bit of Groundhog Day. You end up going back over the same things. So if at all possible, that's the really important time. If your dancer needs to be gone, they're sick, there's an unavoidable thing. We completely get it. But them checking with the understudy before they come back kind of gives them prep for getting, being prepared, because I do think that then sometimes causes some anxiety on their part. They're like, what did I miss? You know, did anything get changed? Is my part changed or something like that? So using the messaging thing on band or reaching out to the understudy and saying, you know, is there anything that got changed? Usually if there is something changed, then we will post a new video on band. Every once in a while that doesn't happen, but for the most part, it does. And so checking band to see if there's a new video, just those kind of things put your kid in a really great position to feel not stressed about having been gone, and really efficient with the time that we have together. For the parent volunteer requirements, volunteer at one performance, holiday showcase, company showcase, or spring recital. Only volunteer if there are not enough volunteers from recreational parents. Volunteer at one Nutcracker performance if your dancer is participating. It's A and C, yes. And Valerie made, I'm going to forget what they're called.
QR.
Thank you. QR codes. Listen, I make fun of my dad because he doesn't know, like he can't keep up with technology, and I'm just like slowly turning into him. So if you guys can scan these tonight and go ahead and sign up so that you know what you are, like if you're a planner. If you're not a planner, that's okay, but they're here if you are a planner and would like to just get that done and out of the way and set, that's completely fine. So for Valerie, is there anything you need to add for?
So what I would say, if we're thinking rec parents are going to sign up, they don't. So the earlier you guys can sign up, the better. And I'm actually going to do something a little different this year. So once I've got everybody sign up, I will send you out an email letting you know I've got you signed up. And then when, like, for instance, Nutcracker tickets go on sale, I will send you yet another email to remind you this is the Nutcracker show or the holiday showcase show or whatever that you signed up for. So you're not, well, I bought a ticket and I didn't realize that that's the show I signed up for. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more proactive for you guys too, so that way there's not any miscommunication of what you signed up for and what I was going to put you down for. So.
Great. Okay. Thank you guys. The goal of being on Performance Company at MDM is to grow technically in ability and performance quality, to place in the top 10 at competitions, or to work through both successes and failures and grow from both experiences. Well, it's really A and C. A and C is just not B. Anything but B. Our kids do really well, and they had a really great year last year. And sometimes that's the way it works out, and sometimes it's not. And sometimes we agree with it, and sometimes we don't. But really, the goal of putting all of this together, whether it's the artist in residency stuff, or the KM agency stuff, or having Clear Dance Intensive come in, or having guest choreographers come in, or like even me going to like the dance awards and stuff, I Shazammed 500 and I think it was 98 songs from September of last year to July of this year. So then I went through all those songs and put them into categories and then like sent them out. But like all of that is so that like we have great music for teachers to use, and like fresh ideas, and all of that stuff is meant to provide really great training for them. And I have to say, as our dancers get older and start to want to teach here and want to assist here and things like that, like I cannot find better trained teachers than what we produce here. I just can't. I can't find them. And so I always thought it was great that it was a sacrifice for my parents, like growing up, for me to dance. And I always feel like that was a really good investment. And I feel like my parents would feel like, okay, that was worth it, you know? Like, and I hope that you guys do too, because I know that it's expensive, and I know that it's a lot, and I know that there are competition days where you are like, what are we doing? I've eaten out of a snack machine, and my kid just yelled at me, and I've been here for 12 hours. What has happened to my life, you know? But I think aside from those days, I do feel like it is giving your kids training and skills that they can turn around and use to get to where they want to go, or even to get them a job to help them to get them to where they want to go. And so I just think that's really important, and maybe just put that in your little pocket for the days when somebody yells at you because you didn't bring the right kind of bobby pins or something like that, you know, whatever, you breathed wrong, or I don't know, one of those days. So I do think that all of these things are meant to provide that instead of the top 10 things. The top 10 feels really good, you know, it does. It's fun. It certainly makes it a more enjoyable weekend when we do well, but that we can't control. Their training, the things that they're exposed to, the opportunities they're given, all of those kinds of things we can control, but the other stuff is really out of our control. So I think this year I've heard more. I've been sitting in the office like working, and I hear kids in the hallway and stuff, and I've heard more this year than I think I have any other year, that like I got bad casting, or I don't like my casting, or that sort of thing, which is weird to me because the list hasn't gone out, so they really have no idea. So that's a strange thing to me, because they don't know. But I do hear it. And so if you guys could share with them that, like, if they are like complaining to their friends or things like that they didn't get good casting, it's not going to help anything. Do you know what I mean? Talking negatively about it to teachers and staff members, calling me to discuss disappointments, that's probably, not like a super great idea. Getting really upset with kids like tearing themselves down because they didn't achieve their goals. Ideally, they would like trust the process and the teachers here, and that we are all, the reason why casting takes so long is because we look at each individual kid. we get like casting as a whole, and then we go kid by kid, where were they at with their budget? How long did they want to be here on a Saturday? Did they have any styles that they didn't want to be in? All of that kind of stuff to try to offer, like, within your life parameters, like, what are the best opportunities for them? And so if your kid is really struggling, I would have them come and talk to me, not in a way to like get things changed, but like what can I do to help them to get to where they want to go? If they feel frustrated, or if they feel like they're not progressing, or they have concerns, I am open to doing all of those things. Talking to the kids about those types of things. But as far as if it is, I got 3 dances and my friend got 4, well, they may have had different budget situations. That person may do tap and hip hop and you don't. Like, that's gonna affect the number of dances that are even available. There are so many things. If you put, I want to be here for less than 2.5 hours on a Saturday, like, that's gonna affect it, And so, if you can talk to them about those types of things, and if they're still not in a good place, me talking to them maybe about setting some goals for next year is maybe a good way to go about it. But I do feel like when they talk to each other about it, like, sometimes it creates like a negative, like, I don't know. Have you ever been with your children and you're like busting your hiney to like get them where they need to go and do all the things for them and like pack all the food and all that stuff, and they're like, I just have the worst life. I just am so, I think because we're all together so much, there can be a little bit of that feeling here, and like I'll have like former students, even like Abby Conrad, like sent me a message, and she was like, can I just say how jealous I am of like the choreographers that they get to like work with? And she's like, no offense to you guys, but it was like, you guys. It was just you guys. And I was like, it was just us. And so, they're children, and I don't expect them to see that, but maybe we can help them see that these are opportunities that not everybody gets, and that you're working hard to provide those opportunities also, because I think it can be offensive as a parent too. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So anyway, maybe we can work on that together to just remind them that this is like a gift and an opportunity for them, and then move on from there, because I don't want it to become a culture of comparison. I think that's not good for them, that's not good for me, that's not good for you. It just isn't good all the way around. For class requirements and expectations for being on company, signing up for required classes but only attending when I feel like it, probably not good. Attending classes that are required but only because they are required. I don't really need to work hard in them because some of them are just requirements. Registering for all the required classes and attending them regularly, communicating absences to the office, taking makeup classes when I miss more than 3 classes, and I need to commit to working hard in classes because that's my best opportunity to grow and get better, or taking at a low level of each class to just meet my requirements. So let's see, yes. And that's something that I have a couple of classes with the kids this for the fall for company classes, and so there's some of the things that we'll go through. One of the things that I've really been working on is like internal motivation for them to work hard. As far as like, a lot of times it's to please us, but I think they get the biggest growth when they like start to push themselves and they are excited about the growth that they see. So we're gonna kind of work on some of that this fall. So I started on, nope, I didn't. I just flipped it. Anyway, sorry guys. I started on 6 and then went to 1. Welcome.
Just follow it right.
Listen, we had 2 sections of Princess Camp this week and a section of Technique Camp and a North High Dance Camp this week. So, yep. I just need some caffeine. I have not had a Diet Coke today, so I know. I really have not had time. I did go shower for you all though, because it was not good. Okay, if we're all gonna be in a room together, I needed a shower. Okay, so I should be on 8, right? Yes, because I was like, how am I only on question 4? Like, I feel like I've been talking for 2 days. Like, great, we're on question 8. Okay, MDM dress code doesn't apply to company dancers because they are the elite dancers of the studio. It's not necessary and it's restrictive because it makes kids conform and there's really no good reason for it. It's required for all company dancers in both classes and rehearsals. Only applies to company dancers for classes. We are free to wear whatever we want to company rehearsals. See? And there are so many times that I'm in rehearsal, and I mean, especially with the older kids, and I'm like, hey, can you take off your shirt because we're gonna do this lift, and I don't want your thumbs to get caught in that shirt, and like it's just dangerous. And they're like, well, I don't have anything on underneath, and I'm like, where did you think you were coming? And then I can't be like, take off your shirt and just wear it. Anyway, so them wearing it is not cool. And I'm a 44-year-old woman and I'm not cool. And I need you to wear these things so that we can do the things. So blame it on me and say, no, Jana needs you to do these things. Even as far as like their hair back and stuff like that, like when we're trying to clean dances and like ponytails are flying and stuff, like it's really hard for me to like focus on other things when things are flying. And so the more part down we can get, then the cleaner we can get it. But if they have on big pants and like we're trying to figure out who's plied the most and which way their knees are facing and all that kind of stuff, it gets lost in it. So your help on that front and blame me. I'm old and not fun.
So what do you want the dress code to be?
So it should be for jazz, it should be what the jazz dress code is for class. Same thing for tap, same thing for ballet. So what they would normally wear to ballet or contemporary is, and it should be like, I think for 14 and up, it's a leotard and a sports bra or a sports bra. Not and a sports bra, that would be weird. Yes, and then they can wear shorts or for ballet they need leotard and tights, the things. So, and I think it's the hair. Like sometimes there's a variety of things going on. So I would say mostly it's the ponytails that make it hard to clean. It gets to be a lot. So, for options for paying my semester tuition. You can pay whenever you can. Pay the full semester up front by September 20th. This payment can be made with cash, check, or card. Make monthly tuition payments via auto pay that will be processed on the 5th of the month. Pay with a check monthly. B and C are correct. So you can pick one of those two. So you can't do tuition monthly by check, only if you pay by the semester. Otherwise it goes on auto pay. Are we good with that? Awesome. My options for paying for my dancers' company fees are paying in full by August 1st. If I do this, I can pay by check, cash, or card. Pay my fee in 7 monthly installments beginning September 20th and ending February 20th. I must use auto pay for this option. Pay my fee in 8 monthly installments. Make a partial down payment by August 1st and then pay the remaining balance off in 6 equal installments. Or MDM is amazing and added an asterisk to the installment payment methods. The asterisk is as follows. If you agree to make your installment payment by the 10th of the month, and you agree to have the payment in the tuition box by the 10th of the month, and you commit to ensuring that you have adequate funds in your account, your installment payment can be made by check or cash. therefore, like, foregoing the credit card processing fee that goes through when you do auto pay that goes straight to Stripe, basically. However, if you make a late payment or you have a bounced check, you forfeit this privilege and it will automatically revert back to the auto pay method for installments. You must choose this option for the duration of the contract period, and it cannot go back and forth just because it is too difficult to track. So the answer is all of the above. You have all of those options available to you to be able to pay for company installments. You can do it all up front. You can make a down payment and then pay the rest off in the 6. You can also choose a 7 installment fee or an 8 installment fee, or you can not be on, not have it auto drafted and pay with a check or cash by the 10th of the month, and then therefore bypass all of the credit card processing fees. So when we really look at it, it is, if we are trying to be as conscientious with your money as humanly possible, I don't want that to be the way that you have to spend your money. If you are like, listen, that is the best money I spend every month because I don't have to worry about it, then that is fantastic. If it is something that you would like to do in order to save those fees, it is something we are looking to do. We've been hesitant to do it because, in all honesty, when Danielle and I started working together, it was not a good situation with the company payments. I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. Like, it's pay whenever you can. You know, it was not a good situation, and it was not sustainable, and it has not been a problem since. And so I think the hesitation is that we don't want to create either a ton of admin work to where, like, it is taking money that we have not built into company for admin fees, and all of a sudden it becomes really, really time consuming to track everything. So we don't want to do that, and we also don't want to get in a situation where all of this money that we're collecting, I'm paying out for either costumes or choreographers or competitions or staff to clean or whatever, and if that money's not coming in, then that's not a good situation. So I hope that helps a lot of people, and that eases things. Do you guys have questions about that? Yes, ma'am.
I have one more simple question. So if we say we go with option E, but we still want to make a down payment with an installment plan, can we pay that off early?
That is a really good question. Can I get an answer for you?
No. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I mean, you really don't want me running that side of things. Like I said, I'd be like, do you want to trade some eggs, some farm fresh eggs for, like.
It's all right if I give you the money before I owe it. Is what it
No,
is.
there is no way that we would be organized or be able to have go on what goes on without it being really organized on the front end of things. And so that is a question that I will get an answer for you for. Because I also don't want to commit to something that is going to, again, like, create a ton of extra work or time or, yeah, Okay, any other questions that maybe I can answer, maybe I can't? Yeah? Okay. Oh, there's somebody in there. Oh. For those of you on Zoom, I might have to stop and restart because it's doing like 45-minute little sessions now, which is fun. So, okay. I get to flip the page. Are we already on 11?
Yep.
Yeah, let's move right along. Okay, regarding auto pay, I don't have to sign up because I'm choosing to pay my semester in full, and I'm choosing to make monthly company payments with cash and check. I will sign up if I get in trouble and my check bounces. I will sign up and use a card that isn't working or has no funds available so that nothing can be charged to it, and I still technically meet the requirements. All company members are required to sign up by August 1st and make sure that an accurate funding source is available. This is required regardless of my financial preference selections. It is D. I know you guys were hoping for C, but it was D. My responsibilities for staying informed include only checking emails occasionally because if something's really important, it will be texted or posted on Band. Making a really good dance mom friend so that we can make sure I always know what's going on. Making sure my dancer is on Band so that they can keep up with their schedule. D, reading the emails and Band posts regularly and encouraging my dancer to do the same as to help me if I find a helpful dance mom friend. That's a bonus for me. Yeah. I mean, it would be C and D. Yeah. Having your dancer on Band, I have to tell you, Lily got a phone last year, and that was really nice. Yay! Go practice your dances. Like, it really is. And starting to have them be a little more in charge of things, and they really. I know it's scary to like put them in charge of stuff. I know. I mean, and I'm not talking like put them in charge of stuff, but yeah. But I was surprised. It went way better than I thought it was going to, and it did kind of surprise me that she knew what was going on a Saturday, and I didn't have to like get in the mix anymore. So I would highly suggest getting your dancer on Band and then being like, it's on Band, go check it out. You can see your whole schedule.
Or put your own account on their tablet, and it works great.
Oh, yes.
Just log into your own account on a tablet.
There you go. Yes. And Band, I have had trouble with it, but I mean, like, I couldn't remember what these were called. So, but Band is more user-friendly on a laptop than it is on your phone also. So if you get lost in the mix on Band, try it on a computer. It is more user-friendly on a computer than it is on your phone. So, so if you have a computer at home that is like for everybody, you could put Band on there and then it's easily accessible for everybody. You can download the videos and then you could like text them out or whatever. So, hope that helps. Band talk. The attachment section in the files, there are folders filled with copies of useful information. So the general contract is on there, calendars, hair and makeup files, schedules, items that you use for company classes. So that's where you're gonna find like printed materials. Anytime you're looking for something like that. The albums is where we post the choreography and the videos, pictures of events, and Tanisha has already set up folders, although I think there are a couple of flip-flops of some things on some names, so we need to go in and edit the names of the albums that are in there, so don't get like too attached to those. But they are all in there, so you can kind of start to check that area out.
And they use it for the video.
Yes, and so we, Valerie is kind enough to put together a like year-end company video, and so when you guys post pictures in there from events and things like that, that's where she pulls the pictures from.
I have been known to Facebook stalk people too.
Yeah, you know, yep. So if you take a bunch of pictures at an event, we would love it if you put pictures in there from competitions, from conventions, from company kickoff, from whatever. Your kid has a birthday party in the lobby, like, yes. I mean, there are lots of Saturday birthday parties out there. Everybody gets a cupcake. All right. The chats. If you subscribe to Band and add it to your iCalendar, then all of the dates will sync to your phone. Purple is the company calendar. Blue is the general studio calendar. And both of them are there so you can see everything that's going on. And then for the chats, your company lead has a group chat with all the members in it. This is a great place to ask questions. Make sure you check this frequently. set up your notifications when new things are posted. Groups were set up by age that corresponded with Nouveau age groups. We kind of had to pick an age ranges in order to. It's not, we don't do casting by that, we don't do levels by that, we don't do anything like that. It is just a way of sorting and making a big group smaller so that people can get their questions answered, and hopefully kids can make new friends. You know, if your kid is a little bit younger and sometimes dances with older kids, like this may be their only opportunity to like get to know the kids that are that may not be in their group, in their dance or whatever. It's just a great way for them to like mix and mingle a little bit more. Our company leads this year, Tanisha is agreed to do the lead of the lead stuff again and help with en avant communication. And then I'm going to, Chastity, I don't think she's here. I don't think some of our leads are here tonight. But maybe we'll force them to like post a picture of themselves on band. Like that can be the picture at the top of the chat. Beth Hale is here. She's the junior lead. And then Tracy Tayton is not here. She is the teen lead. And Akita Holloway is the senior lead. And I don't think Akita's here either. Listen, it's a busy week. Leads will plan to have a few social events for your group throughout the year. So just watch for information about that. Does that sound good? Anybody have any band questions? Yes.
Did you say that blue is for company and purple?
I think purple is for company. Let me double check. Purple is for company, and blue is for studio general calendar stuff. So, like when the studio's closed, when the studio itself would have an open house, that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, you guys, we're at 13. Woo! Right? Yep, we are. Okay. If I have a question about something, I should call or text Jana. If she doesn't answer, I should DM her on Instagram and Facebook and possibly send her an email. I should first review the band and my emails to see if there's anything I missed. Ask my company lead for the answer. Contact the office as a last resort. I would say B, C, or D. And it's not that I don't want to communicate with you guys. It's not that. It is that it's overwhelming and it comes from like a lot of different places all at the same time, you know? And also sometimes I don't know the answer as well as Courtney at the front desk does, because she's sitting there and just had a conversation and a phone call came in. Oh, hey, my free meeting time has ended. Hold please. And honestly, it is for a little bit of like my personal sanity and being like available to my family, like my immediate family. Just because there are lots of nights and weekends that I am not there. And so just making sure that like when I am home, I can be as like present as possible. Cause I have a problem with my phone, and if it dings, I look at it and I deal with it. So most of the information, now that doesn't apply to like we're at a competition and you know, you're just trying to reach out to find somebody to let them know that you got an offender bender on the way there. Like call every phone number you got, call them all, you know. But if it is like a Sunday night and you're like, I'm going to get my life together, I'm going to text Jana and see if she knows, I would rather you not. I would rather you not. So, yeah. Okay, regarding my dancer communicating with MDM teachers and staff, this was new last year, but it applies to guest teachers who teach and choreograph at MDM as well. My dancer can text or call any of the MDM teachers or anytime they want because teachers have said it's okay. I must be included on all text communication between my dancer and a staff member of MDM, and my dancer should not initiate DMs with teachers via Instagram or Facebook. If my dancer has a long-standing relationship with a teacher, it's okay for me not to be on the text communication thread. My dancer can DM a teacher directly through Instagram or Facebook, or get around the policy if needed to not include a parent on the communication. This is, I think I told you guys last year, there were a lot of things that were changing in the dance world. We hired an attorney to go through and do an entirely new employee handbook for us. And, you know, as Ryan and I were talking about it, Ryan has been a high school teacher for 16 years. And, you know, I don't think I can ever remember a kid texting him. Ever. You know, and the world has changed, and those things are put in place to protect all of our children and to protect the staff, to make sure that everything that is being said is being seen by an adult, and it just keeps everybody on the same page. And not that anything bad was going on, but like, I want to know what my kid is talking about with other adults. I just do, and I think you guys do too. And it just is the best way to do things, and to protect everybody involved. So I know it was a change for the kids. You know, it used to be that if a kid was running late and they were stuck at a train right here, they would text me, and now they don't. And if something like that happens, if a kid like DMs, because I've had like guest choreographers reach out to me and they're like, hey, just so you know, one of your kids was DMing me. Is there a way that you could ask them to stop, because it makes me uncomfortable, you know? And so it just makes the adults in the situation look like a jerk because we're ignoring children, you know? And it's not that we're wanting to ignore them, we're just wanting to do things the right way and make sure that everybody involved is doing things the right way. So if you could reinforce that to them, that would be great. And then if my dancer is cast as an understudy, it's because they weren't good enough to be cast in the dance. It's a free opportunity to grow and a chance to be a valuable part of the dance. They should attend all rehearsals and step into spots during rehearsal if someone is absent. They will be provided with a costume but should not wear it, take pictures in it, or plan to return it to the studio at the end of the season. Attend the understudy meeting, which, does it have a date on there yet? I'll reach out to you with that. Mine's blank too. I was supposed to fill that in and I forgot. All the answers but A are correct. There are a variety of reasons why a person is cast as an understudy. A lot of times they have to do with budget, or availability on a Saturday, or they are a person who had availability, they had a break during that time, and they didn't change the age of that dance. Because say that we're at a competition and Taryn is sick, and I put Grace Gerlach into her spot, like that's going to change the age of that dance. You know, Taryn's 14, Grace is 9. Yeah. So that's gonna change the age category. So we have to put somebody in that in general is going to keep it the same age. So it never has to do with like, oh, your kid was almost good enough to be in it. It really has more to do with putting a person in that spot that could step into that dance and has availability in a variety of ways. And I do think you are so cute. And I do think it is, it gives them an opportunity to experience that and grow from that experience. Swing dancers, an understudy would be called a swing on a tour or something like that, and they get paid more than the average dancer there because it is a harder job. They have to know all of the parts. And so I think it's a valuable skill for them to have. So it's not easy to be the understudy, and but I feel like it's really valuable. So yeah, did we say the answer is all but A? All but A. Okay. When attending dance competitions, I should sit with my dance mom friends and talk badly about other dancers in studios, but make sure I'm quiet so that no one hears. I should let my kid wing it and not help them with any of their preparations. I should rehearse my kids' dances with them, especially their solos, to make sure that they know what they're doing. When my dancer comes off stage, I should give them my critiques because I want to make sure they don't fall behind and make corrections for the next performance. I should help coach my dancer to be responsible with their preparations, never talk negatively about another dancer, ours or from another studio. Support and clap for all the dancers, let the teachers do their jobs, and not give my dancers corrections or advice, and tell my kid how proud I am of them and how much I enjoy watching them perform. I think all of us as parents, like when we give our kids like advice after a stressful or before a stressful situation, our intentions are so good. We're like, hey, did you know? And it is never received well. And I think it's because, and Kim talks a lot about this, and I've been reading a lot of articles about it, like the place filler that we are in our children's lives as a parent is very different than like a teacher-student relationship. They may not act like they care what you think, but they care what you think way more than they care what I think. And so you guys having, they care in the moment from us because they're trying to make all of us proud. But it is so much more important that they make you proud than me proud. And so it comes with a lot of heaviness, and I feel like it's the number one thing to like suck joy from this experience is when they feel like they are disappointing any of us, but especially you guys. And so sometimes people are like, I don't know what to tell them when they come off stage. And I'm like, tell them they did, that you're proud of them, and give them a hug. You know, I would say don't lie to them. They're super smart. You know, if they're like, did you see me mess up on that part? You can be like, yes, but you recovered so well. It was fantastic. You were down and right back up, you know? I would not suggest lying to them, you know? I've made the mistake of telling kids before, I was like, I think it's one of the better times you've done it. And they're like, that's a lie. And I'm like, that is a lie. You're right. Like, you have done it better, but we got through it. And it still looked fine, you know? And so I think that's one of the hardest things is when they come off stage and they're upset, how do we as their parent like deal with those big emotions right then? And I think hugging them, telling them that you're proud of them, giving them time and space, you know? And then, and the same thing getting ready for it. Like they can be vipers, like just... a couple of times I have been like, I am not your mom. You cannot talk to me like that. Like, this is not going to work. But the same thing leading up to it. It matters so much. I think especially if they feel pressure, and I don't think we put it on them intentionally. I just think that they know that it takes a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort. And so then if they feel like they're not going to do well or they're really nervous about not doing well, then that situation can become a little bit dicey right beforehand. So giving them space beforehand, giving them like love and support after, I think those are the things that we can do for them to make them feel like this is all a growth experience and it's not about being perfect. If I've noticed anything in the last 5 years, with teenagers in particular, like that perfection, like it is, I don't like that picture of myself. It's not good enough. Like I didn't do it as well as I could have done it. So we try in rehearsals to talk about like an average. Like you should compete at an average of what you're doing in rehearsal. If you're normally doing a double pirouette in rehearsal for your solo, having an expectation of doing a triple, even though you may dream about that, that's probably not a realistic expectation. And so sometimes like talking to them about what their expectations are and then helping them to have like reasonable expectations. You know, if they're going into it and they're being like, well, I want to get first and I want to get called out for a scholarship and I'd really like to do 5 pirouettes, even though I've only ever done 3. Then like managing those expectations for them and saying, how about we go out and feel like it's the strongest you've ever done it and that this spot you've really struggled with is really clean. And we try to go through it with those types of things with them as well, but I think that's an area where we could really use your help to make sure that that it stays a like healthy and fun experience overall. Now, they care a lot, and so there are going to be highs and lows to that, but overall, it should be building them up and not tearing them down. So, do you guys have any questions about before and after? Great. Okay. Do you have to sign up for the KM Master Jazz classes on Wednesday nights? I have to sign up. So the Wednesday night ones are the ones that are optional. Those are the ones that we've talked about, like artist in residency. So that's the form that you filled out online. If you are still interested in it, you can still sign up. If you've already signed up on that form, then we've already entered you into those classes. I think I just hit the wrong button. Maybe
It's
I know. I took a deep dive into like ChatGPT because I thought it might be able to help with like, anyway, I was like, well, just gonna go live in a barn somewhere or something. Like I don't know that I can handle like this next step of technology. For the KM agency, the Saturday classes, that's something that all of company is participating in. You do not need to sign up for those. They are included in the contracts that you've already gotten. Kim is going to pop on tonight to talk to you guys. She'll have several in-person things that she's doing here, as well as virtual classes for the kids and things like that. The thing that I really love about Kim is that I think she really inspires individual kids. And individual kids of all different ages and levels. I think she's really, really good at connecting with kids and like pulling like confidence out of them in a way that like I don't know how she does it. It is fantastic. So I was supposed to be done by 7:30 so that she could Zoom on. And you guys, I've run like an hour and a half over on these meetings before. I would just like you to know. And I am 4 minutes early.
We are marking on the calendar.
Listen, put that in my baby book. Listen. Okay, for the dates that you guys need to be aware of, so you can sign up still for the VIP Wednesday classes if that's something you're still interested in. We have a couple of spots left in a couple of different levels. And the first class for that will be August 28th. You do not need to sign up for the Saturday classes that will be with Kim McSwain. The dates that you need to be aware of in August, if you look at that calendar, are July 30th through August 3rd is the Technique Intensive. August 24th is the kickoff party and headshots. And I can confirm that it's going to be at Twin Rivers Swim Club instead of here. Yeah, yay! Yes, ma'am.
So I just wanted to check on A, should that be the 30th or the 31st? The 30th is Sunday, 31st is Sunday.
It should be the 31st through the Thursday. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, good catch. We do have some people in town setting choreography on the 30th, but the classes themselves will be that Monday through Thursday.
Also, I know there's a lot in here about email. Is office at Midwest Dance Biz whatever? I feel like when I type it in, it'll come out Jana, Courtney.
It's the office at dancemechanics.biz is the one that you should send almost everything.
Okay.
Because
Billing,
uh-huh.
all of that, and then they will put it to whoever.
Yes, then they disperse it out. The hard thing is like, say that you send it on like a Saturday night and I'm like checking my email and you send it to me, the dancemechanics@gmail.com, you send it to the office, and then you send it to the billing, which is Danielle. You send it to all three of us. Like I sometimes don't know that it's been sent to all three people, so I reply. In the meantime, Danielle replies. And on Monday, when Courtney gets here at 1, she sends it back out to us and replies to you. Anyway, just send it to the office and it'll just go, it'll go where it needs to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's office, it's on the website.
Yep, the office at Dance Mechanics.
And
Yes.
mine resolves to Courtney Britton. When I do office at
Yeah,
that one,
it's,
it's just Courtney now.
anyway, they auto-populate, and there's a bunch, and then some say notify, so.
I have a question, so we're
Yes.
taking headshots for the Nutcracker program
And
and swim prep.
And at the very beginning. So like you'll get there and he will be all set up and take the pictures. They need to take their picture before they get in the water and then they can go swim. There's other things to do there as well. We planned on having like food set up and things like that. So they will need to take their headshots before we get in the pool.
So are they gonna wear all the same shirt or?
So
just-
I know that there are instructions about it.
I just looked and when you sync your calendar, it says company headshots, wear something black on top, leotard, black shirt, dress, hair, and makeup could be natural, your choice. All
Right.
direct-
So not so
Right.
much like last year where everybody was cohesive with the
Nope.
Mark and the Leon.
Nope, they can just look natural. So they don't need to be like all made up or in a hair and a bun or anything like that. As long as they have something black on the top, they can wear a black swimsuit. Like, I mean, I'd rather it not be like, you know, but they can wear, just normal and then go get in the pool.
Well, can I make a suggestion? Can
Yes.
we have just one t-shirt that the kids would just take off and put on? Because otherwise, and maybe this is just me and I'm old fashioned, but I'd rather for it to be more uniform. So
Well,
if there's just one MDM, I've got that one MDM black shirt, if they just switch it out.
There's new people that don't have shirts from NBN.
No,
Well,
I mean, anybody, yeah,
Yeah.
just your borrow shirt,
Yeah.
put it on top. If it's just a plain red shirt, I mean, or whatever the color may be, but just so that it is more uniform.
well, it will only be from here up. Do you know what I mean? For the headshot, it will only be from here to here. So he should be able to make them look very uniform as long as they have something black, and they'll be black and white too. So I think it should be okay. I'm gonna log on with Kim and we're gonna cross our fingers because I'm gonna put it on that TV and it's gonna work, guys, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to tell you that Zoom is echoing. Vanessa D'Angelo is watching from Chicago, and she said it's echoing.
Okay. Well, I feel like I might be, you don't wanna be right here? No. You sure? Pretty sure. Okay.
Hi.
You guys, I need you to cross your fingers for me. That wasn't good.
Recording in progress.
Hi.
Hi!
Hi. How are you?
I'm good! I made you the host, is that okay, Shannon? Yes. Okay, cool.
That's Shannon. And then Miss Kim. Hi, Shannon.
Hello.
And then you guys saw Miss Kim just a second ago. Is the way I have the camera, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at all the people. So intimidating.
So we just kind of went through like contract stuff, like super fun things, like talking about
Oh, the
contracts
most
and,
fun.
calendar dates and, you know, all of those types of things. So,
Okay.
and I was excited to tell them that you were going to pop on and kind of talk about KM Agency and what you guys were planning for Saturdays,
Yes.
and kind of go from there.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Jana, does everybody know Miss Kim? Does anybody know me or know of me?
So we have talked quite a bit. I mean, they've seen videos that you put out for, and we kind of did an introduction, but this is probably their first like live situation with you.
Oh, okay.
And she came.
Well, hello. Hi, everybody. It is nice to meet you. My name is Kim McSwain. Everybody calls me Miss Kim, and I just go along with it. So, because they've called me that forever, and I love it because I love being Miss Kim. Miss Kim is fun, and she is rainbows and sparkles, and I want to be her all the time. So I will take it. A little bit about me. I love dance and I love kids, and that's about it. And I love being a mom. And the only two things really that I care about in this world is being a good dance teacher and being a good mother. And they're the only things I'm really great at in the whole world. And I have been around in this industry for 30 plus years. People know me. I have an incredible reputation for working with children. I am very transparent about my life, my journey, where I've been, where I've come from. And that's put me into the place that I am now, and where I am with children, and the way that I work, and the way that I teach, and the way that I mentor. I came from an abusive household, and it wasn't an abusive household like you think. My mom wanted to give me everything. My mom wanted to make me a star. She wanted to make me so great so that I never needed anybody for anything, was her goal. And by the time I was 8 years old, I was dancing 40 hours a week. And I didn't have a childhood. I was not allowed a childhood. And Mama, we'll call her Sharon. Sharon's famous in the dance world, good old Sharon. And I'll say this, you guys, I take care of my mom now. Mom has dementia, and I have to take care of Mom now. But before that, I did not speak to my mother after I turned 17 and moved to Los Angeles. I had not a relationship with my mom. It's because of my childhood and the way that she took me through my dance journey. She told me I was better than everybody. She told me that people were jealous of me, and that's why I didn't have friends. She asked my coach about every single thing. She was a stage mom. She was a dance mom. She was everything that you can imagine. And in return, people did not like me. Now, I'll tell you this. I've never lost in my life. I have never received second place in my life. I had 6 solos. I had 6 solos so that I could receive 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th overall. And the 6th one was just in case I lost. So when I'm talking today to you guys, please understand that this is coming from a place of an 8-year-old little girl that loved dance. I loved dance because my dance teacher saved my life. That was my safe space that I went to. And my dance teacher was about 100 years old. Her name was Miss Joyce. She was my ballet teacher. And she was the most beautiful, wonderful lady I've ever met. And I took dance there from when I was 8 years old until I was 17. Because we didn't studio hop back then. You don't go from studio to studio to studio when you don't get what you want. You stay there with the coach and the trainer. That's what you do. And she told me I was an angel and that I was going to make something of myself, and I believed her. And in return, I never did anything wrong in high school and all the other kids were drinking or doing drugs or doing things with boys. I never did any of that because Miss Joyce told me that I was an angel. And even though no matter what was going on at home, the alcoholism and the abuse, I went to my dance studio and I worked so hard because it made me feel beautiful and safe and perfect there, no matter if I was being bullied at school or not. So when I talk about this being a passion of mine, to save kids all over the country, the good, the bad, and everybody in between, you can understand why. I started KAME Agency because I was dancing. You know, I've owned a dance studio. I've danced with Michael Jackson. I've been a convention teacher. I started one of the best conventions in the country with someone. I helped build that. I've done everything that you can imagine. But what's hard for me is being on that stage and seeing 1,000 kids in that room and only 10 or 15 getting noticed. Just the best of the best getting noticed. Well, what about the rest of those kids? What about their hearts? What about their souls? What about their confidence level? What about them? I can make all these kids. I'm one of the best teachers you've ever met. I'll make your kids fabulous. But here's my concern. On the way to get them there, how do they feel? I'm concerned about your kids being happy and healthy on the way that they get there. I'm a very strict teacher. I'm old school. I believe in integrity, honesty, fair. I do not have favorites. I believe in team bonding and team building. And I love every kid in my class. I don't care if your kid is the worst dancer I have ever seen. I will tell them that they're beautiful and perfect and amazing because they are in their own way. And if I tell them that, they will get better. They will get better. But you have to understand that this is not, this is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. This is gonna take a while to get them there. And we'll get them there. I know how to do this. I have 100% success rate of what I do. I love parents. I'm going to be a team with you. I'm going to be a partner with you. And I'm not going to work against you. I'll tell you that for sure. But I will not put up with the dance mom. You have to trust me, and you have to trust your coaches. Because here's the deal. I would never, ever, ever do anything that wasn't great for a kid, that wasn't the best thing for their improvement, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and for them to just be a kid. Because here's the deal. I know we want to get them better at dance, and I'm going to get them better at dance. So what if they don't want to be a professional dancer? I bet your kid probably doesn't. I'm going to help them live their dream. What if they want to be a veterinarian? Well, guess what? I'm going to let them live that dream every single time they're in my dance class. I'm going to let them know that they have to work so hard every time they're in my dance class that they're sweating and their guts feel like they're coming out and they feel like they're going to fall down and they got to get back up. And you know why? Because that's the work that it's going to take to get to be a veterinarian too. They might fall down, and guess what? They might not get that spot in that small group. Who cares? Because that doesn't make them any less of a dancer. Only reason they didn't get in that small group is maybe their height. Do you understand that? Maybe there's a blonde on this side and we need another blonde to balance it out.
Wonderful.
These are things that you don't understand. Maybe this girl has a right leg tilt and this girl has a left leg tilt, and we need to balance that because in the section back here, we need a leg section. And don't think, well, oh my gosh, then Sally, you gotta get that tilt. You better get that tilt. Don't make Sally get that tilt because Sally might not have that tilt yet. That's okay, baby. I'm kidding. These babies already put so much pressure on themselves because of social media. And they already compare themselves to their friends anyway. Don't do that to them. Because they're looking at their buddy, you know. They're doing 2 turns, their buddy's doing 3. They're thinking, why am I not doing 3? Well, baby, you're not doing 3 because you have a cold that day. And you're off, right? You're off a little bit. You're center. That's why you're not doing a triple turn that day. No big deal. You'll do one tomorrow. And they take it so seriously. And I don't want them to do that because they're more than that. They're better than that. They're more than these steps, you know? They are. They're little athletes. I'm gonna push them in these classes. We have a goal in these classes and we're gonna accomplish these goals in these classes. And they're gonna understand that. I'm fun. I'm super fun. They're gonna come home and I promise you that first class, they're gonna like, this is the best class I've ever had in my life. It was the hardest class I've ever had in my life. I've never danced that hard in my life. But oh my gosh, she is so fun. Yes. Because they have to be kids. Because it was a job for me. It was a job for me, you guys, to go to dance class. I didn't have an option but to win. Winning was my job. When everybody else got to go swim, I had to go practice. And so I want this to be joyful for these kids every time they walk in. Joyful. I want this to be a memory. I still remember walking into my dance studio and remembering how it smelt. Because that smell makes me happy. That smell made me happy. That was probably the ugliest dang studio you've ever seen in your life, but to me, it was home. I've been to y'all's studio and I know how lucky these kids are. That's a place they'll never forget. There's memories there, there's friendships there. There's conversations in those walls that you parents don't even know. But what I want is for these kids to, when they walk in there, to feel like they could take on the world. Because that's what dance should do for them. That's what it did for me. It made me feel like I could take on the world. And I did. I did. I want to make sure that, you know, learning defeat is going to be a part of it. So it's okay if they come home sometimes and they're having a bad day. Let them talk through that. Let them feel, let them vent, but don't get into it with them. Don't get all frustrated with them. Just be like, baby, that's okay. Baby, it's okay to feel that way for a second, but you know what I know for a fact? I bet you worked your tail off tonight. And I bet you were the best version of yourself. And I bet you it's okay to feel frustrated right now, but you know what? I bet you are allowed to feel frustrated because I bet you worked so hard that you fell down. And you know what that says to me? That says to me you went above and beyond. That's a star. That's a champion. That's an athlete. That's what they do. They fall down. And they get right back up, baby doll. Mom's proud of you, or dad's proud of you, or aunt's proud of you, or grandma's proud of you right now for working so hard that you're this frustrated. What a cool kid you are. Go get them, Tiger. Because there's going to be different ages, and we work with them different ages too. whether they're little pumpkins, or they're teens going through those emotions, you know? And these emotions are gonna be hard, and I'll tell you what, you're gonna see a difference in is the confidence in your kids. The confidence in how they feel and who they are as a person and a human. That is what you're gonna see a difference in. Because this day and age, the kids that we're working with all over the country, they are having a hard time looking at themselves in the mirror these days. Because they're too busy comparing themselves to their phones. And one of the things that we work at on the agency is these kids really taking a look at themselves and just loving who they are. Period. You're enough. That's what we tell them right when they walk in. You're enough. Before we even start this, you have got to have confidence, and you have got to know that you're enough for us. Do you understand that? Okay. Then we'll go from here. We do a lot of exercises with them that are out of the norm. A lot of exercises that are out of the norm, but what we do is we see them first, we meet them where they are, and we take them to their level of excellence. Not the person next to them, not the person in the front, not the kid that you want them to be, but their level of excellence. And they're a star, and they rise to it every single time for us. They do. You know, one of the things that we have to remember is that we set the tone for our kiddos. You know, there's a lot of times that I remember, you know, we sit in the car and we drive up in the front and we don't even think about it, but we'll be on the phone. Maybe we're just in the kitchen and we're on the phone venting to our friend about how we're just upset because we love her so much and we just wanted so much for them, and we think they should have deserved to get in that small group. Oh, I wish so bad that Isabella would have gotten that small group. She deserves it so much. She's been working so hard. Well, guess what? Isabella hears you say that. So now Isabella hears that, and that is negative. We need to make sure that we are nothing but positive and a fan for these kids. Nothing but a fan. Let our coaches do the coaching. Let our coaches do the assignments. Let our coaches do anything that has to do with dance. You know what our job is? To tell them they're fabulous. And I know that for a fact because I'm a professional dancer, and I never wanted my kids to be in dance until about 3 years ago when they came and begged me. Begged me. So what do you do with that? I have to put them in dance, right? So here we go. Here goes mom. Put them in dance. I'm the worst dance mom ever, you guys. It's so hard to be a dance mom. It's so hard. And I'm just their fan. I stay out of it completely. They ask for corrections. Never would I give a correction. Ever would I give a correction to my child. Mom, what did you think? I thought you were the best one there. Mom, that's not true. You know Kylie's the best one. How do you know? Mom, come on. Kylie's the star of everything. I don't know who you're talking about. You're the star of everything in my eyes. Mom, you have to say that. Of course I'm going to say that because you are my baby and you're my star forever. And some of you might be thinking, well, Kim, that's not reality. And my daughter's not a star, and she's not the best one on the team, so I'm not going to lie to her. And that's not the way I parent. And I'm gonna push my kid a little bit more, and I do want to help because I have a dance background. I was a dancer, and I'm going to help her. Well, to each their own then. But as a professional that has done this for 30 years and worked with dancers and had the dancers that had the dance moms that did help them with the corrections, I'll tell you that I've been on the other side of it and I've had to deal with those kids and those kids quit dance. It gets very hard for kiddos. So we just want them happy. So I know for me, All I want to do when I come in there is know that your kids are in the best hands possible with us. When I started this agency and I had the opportunity to hire the best in the country, and everybody wanted to come work, I said no to so many people. And the reason that I had to was simply because they weren't the best mentors for children. Great teachers, great educators, great resumes. But were they the best people for kiddos? Not necessarily yet. And just maybe because they weren't parents yet. You know what I mean? Because I remember teaching dance so differently until they put my babies in my arms. And then I understood how important the words were that came out of my mouth to other people's children. And I changed the way that I taught. I changed the way that I taught forever. It's just a gift. It's an absolute gift to be in a room with someone else's child and be able to be trusted with that. And so for me to be able to have an agency of this magnitude, I take it very seriously when I hire. Because I know I don't put my children in a room full of adults and let them speak words of wisdom into their hearts and minds and souls and teach them dance unless I trust them completely. So that's pretty sweet. It's my little pumpkin. My little angel. She's giving me, she's sorry. I said it's okay. I want to know for you guys, coming in as a parent, I would think for me, what do I do? What do I do? Do I sit back? Do I push? There's so many things to do as a parent because they compare themselves to each other. They want to be the best. They want to be in the front. They want to have all these questions. Just trust your coach. That's the best advice I could say, because if you don't trust where you're at, then you have to go somewhere else. Because it's kind of like if you're always second guessing, you can't simply be comfortable. You simply can't be comfortable. That's what I would think. This year's a blank canvas, guys. So I know for me, I am looking very forward to coming in and meeting all of you. I am open. I love parents. I used to be scared of you guys, and I'm not scared of you anymore. So that's fun. So I am open. I love talking about your children. I love talking about the progress of children. I love talking about the training of children. And I love talking about my mentors and what we can do. What's so great about it is I can't wait for you to see the journey of your kids. From where they start and where you start to see them change, not only as dancers, but as little human beings. And I hope that you feel comfortable enough to write me as you see them grow, because I really want to, for me, my mentors put in the dance work, I put in the mindset work. Because I want them to be great at anything they want. Anything they want to be. Anything they want to be. Because a lot of these times, they feel comfortable in the dance studio, but maybe they don't feel comfortable at school. Maybe they don't feel comfortable in their skin walking out in public. And that's where I come in. Because I want them to know that no matter where they came from, no matter how tall they are, how short they are, how thin or how thick, and if they have one mom, two moms, no dads, 1,000 dads, that they're good enough, always. Always, always, always. And they can be anything you want, but they gotta work hard. They gotta work hard every day of their life. And they can't let anybody tell them they can't do it. And I'm gonna be hard on them. I'm gonna be real hard on them, but I'm gonna love them. I'm gonna love them all. So I hope that you guys support us in this mission to make your kids great. And I'm here for you guys, anything that you need. If you have any questions for me at all, feel free to write me at Kim@Kane Agency. And this is for y'all. This is for your kids. And I love what I do. I sold my house. I sold my dream house and everything in it to start this company. And I believe in what it does for children. So I appreciate you supporting it, and I appreciate you trusting me with your children. I really do. And I take it very seriously. So don't you worry.